Rippaverse fans all over can get a little bit excited. Actually, a lot excited. Why? Because Eric July and the rest of the team behind the Rippaverse have announced that the company is doing their first ever broad-based crossover, the Exclave. My name is Jacob Berry, and this is Studio Jake, where we talk about all things pop culture. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post new content, like today, where we're going to be talking about the Exclave. If you have time, I would appreciate it if you would hype this video. All right, so the Exclave. Basically, this was teased in a very short video that was released on the Rippaverse YouTube channel, where it kind of showed you going around like all of these lava packs, and then finally you see this very ferocious creature at the end of it, and it came up Exclave coming soon and all that. And then Eric July did a bigger announcement where, along with two other releases that will be coming, Exclave is going to be a massive crossover event. Now, obviously, a lot of these characters have crossed over before. Alpha Core has crossed over with Yaira. Yaira and Bloodruth have crossed over with Isom. Gooding has crossed over with Bloodruth, and the list goes on and on. However, this seems to be like a massive, wide crossover event, and I am so happy to discuss it with you, my fellow indie comic book fans. All right, and reading from Rippaverse.com right now, it is very vague what they are saying, but I still wanted to read it to you so you get a really cool idea. So here it goes. It begins here. The Rippaverse's first major crossover event is coming, and Exclave number 0 lays the groundwork for everything that follows. This prelude issue provides essential context for what has been developing beneath the surface, setting the stage for an invasion that will shake Flores Park to its core. Following the devastating events of Isom number 2, the Devling King has emerged from the Underearth with one mandate: eliminate Isom and establish a foothold on the surface. The heroes of the Rippaverse don't know what's coming, but the pieces are moving into place. Written by Eric July and interior art by Eder Messias and letters by Invisible Art Studio. All 4 covers illustrated by Kanan White. It will be 56 pages. Okay, so this is teasing something big. Flores Park is about to be invaded in a huge way. Not from the other side of the country or the continent like it is in the Great War of Separation, not from without like it has been with other forces such as the aliens we see in Yaira, but from below. Now this is going to be something intense. I could not wait to see what is going to go on with these characters, with the heroes, and this devilish villain. Now, for context, Isom number 2, there is a scene in it where Isom and Bloodruth are underground and they get attacked by devlings. You don't really get a lot of knowledge about them. Bloodruth does kind of explain a little bit, and it's a little bit explained further in the Bloodruth story, but not very much. This one is going to be a devastating crisis where we'll get to learn more about what these creatures are, what they represent, what they're all about. I, for one, am truly excited about this. Exclave, what a title. Let's talk about that. Exclave. Wow. I don't know where Eric July comes up with this stuff, but he has definitely grown as a writer. I was never on the bandwagon that said, oh yeah, the artwork is good, the coloring is good, but the stories are subpar. I was never on that bandwagon. I actually think Eric July is a good storyteller, but I will say he definitely has gotten better if we go from Isom 1 and then the stuff in the Rippazines to Isom 3. He has definitely expanded his author tool writing skills, and you can see that with this big promotion of Exclave. I think it is going to be a really good story. It's going to definitely expand. And of course, from one of the covers, we can see that Gooding is returning finally. Gooding has kind of become more of a side character since his solo comic by Mike Barron. I hope this means he will get a bigger moment in the spotlight. For one thing, he is their master creator. He is their version of Adam, or maybe even Tony Stark. He's an industrialist, he's a scientist. He creates these amazing inventions, and he has taken on bad guys. He has helped Bloodruth, so more of the magic stuff, but he's helped her with his science. He has helped Isom. And I was really unhappy that we haven't gotten, further along in his tale. I would like to see more of Gooding, and I'm so glad we're going to get this opportunity in Exclave. Okay, and Kanan White. Oh my gosh. You've got to check out these covers. These are top notch. I think that they are so fantastic. Number one is, of course, Sydney Bloodruth, the master of magic within the Rippaverse. I love the details. Now, all of these are headshots, if you will, and hers looks fantastic. He does such a good job. He's a legend, right? He's got Marvel credits. He's the art director for the Rippaverse. He does an incredible job of making these covers pop. And, of course, the stories that he illustrates, they look phenomenal. Cover B is, of course, my man Gooding. I am so happy to see him back. I think that it will be good to see him. And I'm going to tell you, I hope he is the main character in this. As much as I like all the other characters, I just would like for him to have a moment in the sun, because he is one cool dude, like I was saying earlier. So I'm so glad he's back. And this might be the cover I get. All of these covers are fantastic. Kanan White did an amazing job on all of them. But I think I'm going to get the Gooding one, even though I do like cover C. And this is, I'm assuming, the Devlin King. It could be one of his generals or a servant in the army, because he does look a little different from the teaser, but I'm going to assume that it's the Devlin King. The details in this, the teeth, the eyes, the scales, it is phenomenal. It looks so great. I just love how this piece came together to make it work and truly show just how evil and threatening this creature is going to be. Last but definitely not least, we have cover D, and this will also be the mass market production one, and this is Isom, the flagship character of the Rippaverse. And like Eric July has said, Isom isn't his only character, and it's not the Isomverse, but he is definitely the one that kicked off the Rippaverse, and I'm so excited to see him on this cover. This is a really good cover. I love Kanan White's artwork. He is a top tier kind of guy, and I think that he works well within it. I really hope that they turn all of these into posters, because these are just some of the best posters, or these are some of the best covers I have seen from the Rippaverse. I would love to see one where maybe it's all four in sort of like a grid, or one of each would be great as well. But whatever the case, Rippaverse, there is a product idea for you. Straight fire from Kanan White. Now, what are the implications of this in the Rippaverse? Well, so far, with a handful of exceptions, all of the characters in the Rippaverse have had some sort of victory, right? Isom just handled his rivalry with his old friend Fontaine. Bloodruth has her own castle now. Gooding has fully established his business. Alpha Corps, yes, they're down, but they're not out. They are trying to restore order in Flores Park. And of course, Yaira is on a big adventure as she faces betrayal. Maybe she's the exception to the rule of the main releases. However, at least to some degree, all of these characters have some sort of stability happening. And so I think that the Exclave will show that they're not safe, that they are facing a power they don't fully understand, that they're going to go toe-to-toe with basically a monster of immense power. And I don't think the combined strength of Yaira, Brian Solari, or Isom is going to be enough. They're going to have to come together. They are going to need to get help to help out with other things besides just dealing with the Devlin King. And I have a feeling that this is going to create some sort of mistrust between the Excepts, that being superpowered people, basically their version of Inhumans or Metas, and that mistrust is going to further cause problems, maybe even at the street level with the PIs like Saoirse and Salvage, because in the Rippaverse, in Flores Park, at least in Texas, you can get a license to kill as a private investigator or a bounty hunter. So I'm very curious to see the ramifications of this. Will that affect even them? So forget about the superheroes and what's going on there. Will it affect those on the street level? How will this affect the Horseman, who just got betrayed? If you've read his latest comic book, I mean, the most recent one published, this is going to be an incredibly devastating event, I think, that will have many consequences and ramifications that will continue to spill over for the Rippaverse and for the characters, for the heroes that are trying to keep Flores Park and Texas at large safe. And I honestly think that the Exclave will be the moment where people realize, hey, this isn't just some small indie alternative. This is a major player in the comic book scene. Yes, obviously they're still indie. I'm not saying they're not turning into, one of the big two. Obviously, the Rippaverse is a standalone company. They're not owned by a corporate overlord like Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and now even Dark Horse Comics. They are their own thing. All I'm saying is people are going to go, wow, I think these folks can compete now. That's what I think that Exclave is going to do, both story-wise and fandom-wise. Now, just as another reminder, Exceps are people with superpowers. Why am I reminding you of that again? That's because I have a little bit of a fan theory about the Devlings. Now, if you recall, if you read Isom 2, strange things starts to happen with Isom's powers. He even starts to lose them a little bit, very briefly, but he does. This causes problems for him even while he's working with Sydney Bloodruth. Now, what I'm wondering is if the Devlings give off some sort of aura or something that messes with Excep's powers. Now, that could be totally off base, but I'm kind of wondering that, and if that will give them an edge when they're fighting Isom and Alpha Core. I wonder if that is going to come together for it. I'm very curious to see if that's going to be an angle that comes to play during Exclave. Now, I'm not saying it has to be permanent or it has to affect every superhero the same. Obviously, this is fiction. They can do whatever they want. But that is a theory I have that we're going to find out that that was kind of the reason for Isom losing his powers briefly, is that because of his interaction with the Devlings, there was some sort of hexing going on and they have to find some sort of immunity to that. Maybe Bloodruth won't be able to fix it with her magic, so they have to turn to Gooding and his technology to find a way around that. I'm very interested and inquisitive about that because Isom 2 seemed to indicate that. Now, I don't want to be pretentious here, but I do want to give one word of caution, not as a fellow indie writer. Obviously, I write novels. You can see them behind me. They're under my Trigun poster. Check them out. But I just want to say to the team behind the Rippaverse, fans are a little weary of crossover events. There were some good ones, such as Secret Wars, Civil War, if you read Marvel, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, the New 52, the DC Rebirth. Some of those were very successful, but as you go along, you get Civil War 2, the second Secret War, and things kind of start to become repetitive. Even the medals, as interesting as the first medals event at DC was, people kind of got weary of then death metal, because they did Dark Knight medals, then heavy metal, then death metal. They also did Heroes in Crisis, which was a total disaster. So I just wanted to caution the Rippaverse to be careful with this, because I think with some comic book readers, and I'm not speaking for anyone but myself, just as a fan, I just would like to say, I trust you. I think this is going to go good, but please learn from the mistakes of Marvel and DC and don't make this into some sort of self-grandizing. Fortunately, Eric July himself is working on the prelude, so I think that the soul of it will be, and especially if they bring in Caro and the Saska sisters and Mike Barron, Chuck Dixon, and all of these amazing writers to work on Exclave, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to have a huge success. I just wanted to express a little concern as a fan who has been burned by a bunch of events that end up going nowhere. But what do you think? As a fan or a reader of the Rippaverse, are you excited for Exclave? What do you think? Do you agree with my fan theory? I would love to know. Please let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know, which cover are you going to get? Like I said, I'm going to get cover B. I want to see Gooding active more, and I want to encourage the Rippaverse to use him more. So I'm going to vote with my dollars and purchase cover B with Gooding. I really appreciate you watching today. Be sure to give this video a like, share it out to all your friends. Like I said, leave me a comment, but don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post new vidcasts, and check out the pinned comment to the link to my Substack. Why? Because that's the best way to support me in the work that I do. Head on over to my Substack at studiojakemedia.substack.com. The link is also in the description of the video. You can subscribe at different tiers that unlock different perks, And also, you can purchase my books there, my aforementioned novels. You can pick up one or all four. I've got links all over the place, but you can find them all on Amazon. I hope you check them out. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on StudioJake.
'Cause I've been living life right like I